Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about how you can win deals without spending more money. So this is ways, how can you make your offer more attractive other than just upping the amount you're offering? This is so helpful because I think sometimes people think that that's all there is to an offer, but there's many ways you can sweeten this deal. A lot of it is about making things clear and about understanding the seller's needs. So first way you can make your offer more attractive is by being pre-approved. So that's not being pre-qualified. Pre-approval is a little bit more rigorous of a process, more detailed. It shows your finances are more in order. So this is different than going online, filling out a little form that's, takes about 5 minutes. In this case, you're speaking with a loan officer, you've sent them documents. So when you submit an offer with pre-approval, it shows that you are financially capable, that you're serious, that you have things in order, and that the contract's not going to fall apart. So for me, when I receive an offer where somebody is pre-approved, I feel much better about it. And sometimes I will even ask them to go get pre-approval before we accept their offer, so I know that we're safe from our side. The second thing you can do is increase your earnest money deposit. So earnest money deposit is the good faith deposit at the very beginning of a transaction. All of the money for the house, the funds move at the end of the transaction, except for the earnest money. So that's your way of showing that you have skin in the game, that you're going to follow through on your word and see this transaction to close. It's often about 3%. But if you make that a little bit higher, you're just communicating. It's a way of communicating to the seller that you're serious and you're confident that this is going to close. Now, the only risk there is that if any reason you break contract, if you have trouble with financing, or if something happens and you're decided you're out, you're not buying this house, that earnest money is often forfeited to the sellers. So that's why it's a strong move to up it. You're communicating that there won't be any problems, but also be well aware of the risk there and be clear you will buy this house if you're upping your earnest money. Another tip is increasing your down amount. It's important to remember that with earnest and with down, you're not paying more money. This is not on top of your offer. This is out of your offer. So putting more down is just another way of showing you're financially capable. It's another signal to the seller that you're really committed to making this work. The next one I wanted to talk about was inspections. Inspections are really important. Often I include them within the offer, so we'll have about 10 days to have an inspector come through the property. This can be a chance for further negotiations. If the inspector finds anything wrong with the house, a leak in the roof, foundation issues, something like that, you can negotiate for a credit to fix those repairs, ask the sellers to fix the repair, or you can leave the contract. You can cancel the sale and get your earnest money back. So it's great insurance from the buyer's side because if there's anything scary or costly about the house, you have a get out of jail free card. You can walk out of this contract. And that's the other reason why it can also be strong to waive your inspection. Now, I would only recommend this on a house that potentially has a pre-inspection, if we're able personally to do inspection before the contract, or if it's like a condo and we have the HOA documents and we have a history of the repairs and it's just really in great shape and we're not worried about that. So, but from a seller side, when I receive an offer where the buyer has waived inspection, I know that they're not going to come back and ask for more money off, and that they're not going to potentially leave the contract over repair issues. So that makes it a lot stronger for me, and I think there is a monetary value in that from that side. So that's another way you can make your offer more attractive. And the last thing I wanted to say here is the love letter. So The love letter used to be very popular. It's when, as a buyer, you write to the seller a letter about who you are, where you're coming from, about your family, about what you love about their house. You know, you pull on their heartstrings a little bit. You try to get them to want you to have their house. That has had some complications because if you talk about ethnicity, our culture, our religion, the seller later can be accused of discrimination under the Fair Housing Act. So I do not suggest that buyers write the love letter, but what I do is I write a letter on their behalf. So I'll interview you, I'll ask you all about what's going on in your life, your backstory, and then I will include that in our offer. So whenever I give an offer, I explain clearly what's in the offer so they don't have to find it in the contract. First, they can just read it in the email. But I'll also talk about who you are, being strategic with the languaging, and that does matter. Often when someone is selling their house, they've put so much love into their house. They have memories there. They want somebody there that's going to love and appreciate their property. And I have seen offers accepted that are lower than other competing offers just because of that, just because they get excited for you and want it to work out. So those are some tips about how to make your offer more attractive without actually upping the amount you're paying. I hope that helps. If you have any questions about real estate, I'm Adam Foley. I do real estate around the Puget Sound. Thanks for listening.